High risk, high reward. That's how we can distinguish Garuda from other warframes in the game. While playing her, you need to sacrifice survivability to gain more damage, but this doesn't mean she is just a mere glass cannon. Mind you, Garuda has a very unique and efficient survivability kit. Her Dread Mirror allows you to block almost all frontal damage, while her second ability, Blood Altar, allows Garuda and her allies to heal themselves while they are inside the radius of the sacrificed enemy. And if that's not enough, then you can add other survivability mods on her, like Quick Thinking, which perfectly synergizes with her Blood Altar and Bloodletting abilities. Her Blood Altar restores your lost health, which you can use to gain some energy with your Bloodletting ability. Or, you can just use Blood Altar, and equip your Garuda with either Hunter Adrenaline or Rage. You just stand inside Blood Altar's healing radius, and restore your lost health, while gaining energy in the same process, as enemies try to hit you with their hardest shot. The best part is, Blood Altar can be stacked by overlapping the healing circles. It's an endless loop of losing and gaining health and energy to provide amazing survivability. In terms of damage, Garuda can send a crowd of enemies to oblivion. Yes, I'm talking about NUKE lads. Her Seeking Talons, paired with long pressing your first ability, is a disgustingly good way to kill a bunch of enemies in one shot. I know some of you are quite hesitant about the nuking part, as the range is not great, but there's a way to make it practical to use in real missions. Well, that's my goal here, making all those good stuff about Garuda practical to use in real missions. So, let's head down to the build section of this guide so I can explain how to play Garuda like a boss. Now here's my mod setup for Garuda. Honestly, I can't play with this frame without the Quick Thinking mod. It would be committing suicide challenging high-level enemies without this mod. The interaction of Quick Thinking, Adaptation, Hunter Adrenaline and Primed Flow with each other creates a unique survivability setup for Garuda. Adaptation lowers the damage taken by Garuda, which allows the Quick Thinking, Hunter Adrenaline and Primed Flow interaction to work against high-level enemies. Not just these mods, but actually, remember that you also have Bloodletting and Blood Altar on your arsenal. When all of these are paired together, you will have some decent amount of survivability. Now you might suggest, why not just use Dread Mirror or even its augment, Dread Ward? The thing is, Dread Mirror only blocks frontal attacks. It's good when you will just camp in one spot, but I don't like camping while playing with Garuda. It's not fun after all. I prefer moving around, leaping, and being tactical while on the move. That's how I want to have fun with this frame. The frontal damage will be taken care by my Dread Mirror, while the hits coming from the side and back will be dealt with by these mods interaction, plus with my Bloodletting and Blood Altar abilities. Now a Dread Ward build can be viable, but it takes a lot of effort to make it effective. You can replace Adaptation with Narrow-Minded on this slot, and place Dread Ward in this slot, but be warned, proccing that invincibility state will be quite a hassle. Remember that the augment requires you to kill enemies with Dread Mirror to proc the invulnerability, and do remember also the only way to instantaneously kill an enemy with Dread Mirror is to make sure first that their health is below or at 40%. In most cases, you won't be able to execute this at low to mid level, as surely, enemies will die fast with your weapons or abilities, while when the enemy's level reaches 100 plus, you will most likely need a damage over time weapon so you can time when you can strike with your Dread Mirror. It's fun to do in the testing room, but in real mission, it's impractical in my honest opinion. If the augment can give more than 30 seconds of invulnerability, then I would consider a Dread Ward build. That will give me enough time to look for another victim and do some other stuff with Garuda. But it doesn't, and my idea is quite overpowered, so I'll pass any Dread Ward build for now. But in case Digital Extremes want to rework this augment somehow, then this is my thoughts. Instead of that 40% threshold requirement, it would be cool if they just use the Dread Heart feature. When you equip the Dread Ward augment, instead of Dread Heart dealing damage, Garuda will consume all those damage stacks and be converted to invulnerability. The duration of invulnerability depends on the amount of damage that Dread Hearts stack. In this way, this augment will be more practical to use. Okay, let's get back with my build. So why did I choose Umbral Fiber over Umbral Vitality? It's because I don't need my Garuda to have high health value. The health regen that Blood Altar provides, plus the damage mitigation that I have on my Garuda, are certainly enough to survive at high-level missions like long endurance runs. You see, this build was made to sit around 2 health almost all the time by using Quick Thinking and Hunter Adrenaline for that loop of damage to energy, energy to health barrier. This is where the high risk high reward part starts. By using her 3 to gain energy while losing health, she also increases her damage, and the damage also triggers Hunter Adrenaline, so even more energy for quick thinking. Then she casts her 2 and creates her healing well and regain the lost health, which she turns into energy once more. Essentially the process is spam 3 till at 2 health, then cast 2 to regain health until full, and then repeat. As long as there are enemies, you should have infinite energy if you can keep up with your timing. Other mods are pretty self-explanatory. Primed continuity mostly for the duration of both Dread Mirror and Blood Altar, and Transient Fortitude, to further increase the power strength of this build, which then gives more health per seconds for our Blood Altar, and achieving that 100% status chance for our Seeking Talons, which is crucial for our nuking, and lastly, Steel Charge for more damage on Garuda's signature talons. Talking about Garuda's signature claws, I can say that these weapons are good but need some assistance when dealing with armored enemies whose levels go beyond 130 plus. For the mod setup, I usually go for a viral and slash combination. Blood Rush is a personal preference and you can replace it with any other mods. You can also place a faction-specific mod on this slot like the Smite Corrupted to min-max the build of your talons. Lastly, you don't need to former this melee weapon. If you want, you can just place Berserker in here, and then add Blood Rush on the mix. In this way, you don't waste any former but will be able to make Garuda's talon effective. But like I've said earlier, these talons need help from other sources to deal with high-level armored enemies. Like for example, the viral slash combination would work better if you can lower the armor of the enemies. The Pox will pair well with your talons as it does allow you to kill enemies quickly with your talons. Now let's proceed to the final part of this guide, and that is the ability of Garuda to nuke. So basically, Dreadheart, or that bloody ball floating above Garuda's head, can do some insane nuking damage. By the way, you can gain damage stat for Dreadheart by striking an enemy with your Dread Mirror, and through the incoming damage absorbed by your Dread Mirror, which is multiplied by a certain percentage, depending on how much power strength you equip your Garuda. Low to mid-level enemies have no chance of surviving when they are hit by your Dreadheart. However, Dreadheart alone will not work well against these high-level armored enemies. To do a one-shot nuke, you first need to apply slash procs from your Seeking Talons, and then follow up with your Dreadheart. Somehow, the slash procs do amplify the damage of Dreadheart, and no matter how high the level or the armor of the enemies, they just die in one host. But wait, there's another problem. Not all enemies start in groups like what you've seen in the testing room. They have a random spawn, and most likely, you won't be enjoying the goodness of Garuda's nuking capability just by hitting a few enemies. But worry not, as there's a solution for that. I present to you, Magus Anomaly, an operator arcane that allows us to group enemies while transferring to our frame. This arcane takes care of the measly explosion radius of Garuda's Dreadheart. With this arcane, you don't need any range mods at all for Garuda's nuke feature to actually work in real missions. All you need to do is, spam Magus Anomaly until you are satisfied with the number of enemies you have, cast Seeking Talons, and then blast them away with your Dreadheart. Insert evil laugh here. So that's all about it. Now I would not say my usual outro, as I'm pretty sure you are excited to try all the stuff you see here. All I ask is for you to like and subscribe on our channel if you want to see more stuff like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Squad Leader signing off.